Now you have an EHR vendor, which is Epic, and you also have now the opportunity to work with a number of other enterprise class technology companies such as Microsoft that you mentioned, ServiceNow, Salesforce, all of those. But you also have this growing ecosystem of digital health startups that are bringing a lot of innovation to the table as well. So how do you go about parsing through this landscape, Tim, as a CIO, someone who, who is innovative and wants to drive and harness the innovation, but also has to manage the risks and the returns and balance it all out? How do you go about it? Talk to us a little bit about how you're approaching this landscape of digital health solution, especially as you transform your organization.
Yeah, it is a great question and a tough thing to solve, right? No matter where you are, how big you are, profit, for profit, not for profit, right? Knowing every startup and every technology and where it's progressing and what's real and what's not real. I mean, it's a very confusing, chaotic environment out there. And so that's a difficult thing to attack. And what it leads to is kind of what I inherited when I first came in here. When I started looking at our digital transformation program and things that were digital like across all of our enterprise, I inventoried almost 150 different digital like, pilots or proof of concepts or whatever you want to call them going on all over the place. And barely half of them IT even was involved in and knew about. So there's all this happening, and you want some of this innovation to happen, but you don't want to happen in chaos and in a way where you have six solutions for the same problem. I mean, you have these duplications. So one of the big things I did early on with bringing in a chief digital officer was to start inventorying that and start collapsing that back just down to something manageable. So first you got to clean up your environment before you start adding more things to the pile to evaluate out there in the environment. And then the other thing I would recommend, besides having some good, trusted partners and others to help you in that journey of assessment, because they can put more focus on that marketplace as opposed to you plus doing your full-time day job. Besides rely on those partners, one of the first things you need to do after inventory and collapsing really what's going on and getting your control kind of hurting those cats and getting governance applied to that model is really figuring out what you're trying to solve and the solutions. What I found out is we were bringing in lots of solutions looking for a problem. What we weren't doing well is defining what the problem was, what good looks like, what the outcome is we want to achieve, and what the value, if we were to achieve that, is, and then prioritizing those things that bring the highest value, then go attack in a structured way the best solutions, either things you already have in-house that you integrate or new solutions externally that you bring in to help solve that problem in more of a constructive way that isn't about, here's a great, cool technology, let's figure out where we can use this somewhere. It's about what are our big problems and where our big value creation that we have across the system, and let's focus on those things. And then that allows you, the beauty of that is it allows me, once I have that construct now, when I get 20 emails a day from various vendors and reach out, and both internally as well as externally, I can put it against that lens and say, hey, that doesn't fit in my top priority things that I'm worried about. That's number 120. I'm not getting 120 for another 18 months. So come back and talk to me then. I'm going to stay focused back on the things that I really need to solve that bring the highest value.